everybody. The time has come and I have released another book. Decided to do a video to introduce it, and what better way to introduce it than to do a reading of a chapter from it. This is not gonna be my only video on it. In fact, I am recording shorts of my personal experiences with all 100 spirits in this book. So you will be able to have that without actually reading the full content. The full content is also available for free, but I'm not gonna be mentioning it in every video. Most of the shorts will only have the paid link because, well, I spent 5 months researching it. It cost money to do so, and I am not in a financial situation where I can just be like, oh, well, that's not no biggie. I work like a prolific job and I earn a lot of money. That's not the case. I am also having social anxiety because I haven't been on camera for a long while, for now a couple of weeks. So if you see me drinking beer, that's what it is. So first, let me just introduce you to the cover by my friend that does artwork for me. And yesterday I was having a complete mental breakdown and decided to release my book there and then. And my artist went, wait, and worked like 8 hours on the spot for me. Therefore, like, please admire it. It's very good artwork. They're Ryan Olakas. I can't pronounce that name properly. I can link you to their Reddit. That's going to be in the description down below. Now, onwards to the book. It's going to be in the correct chapter, but yeah, we're just going to talk about Satan in case, I hope you guys don't mind. But let me just introduce you the book at its fullest. What I wanted to do was record 100 spirits that are in Goetic and Dukante hierarchies and get all information that I can on them and compile them into one easy to access spot, because it is quite infuriating when you want to look up one of these spirits and you have to jump through a lot of hoops or go through a lot of different websites. So I was like, why not take on that project myself? I also wanted to meditate on each of those spirits and just tell you how I felt about it, what I felt, what my experiences were, because for a lot of these spirits, people are looking for personal experiences with them, and they're once again hard to find on the internet. So, information in this book includes a description of the spirit, their sigil, other mentions of this spirit, so where else has this spirit appeared and how were they portrayed in that work. When I can quote, I just directly quote the part where that spirit is like described in a different work, but sometimes due to copyright laws I cannot do that, in which case I will paraphrase the best to my ability as to what the author said in that work. Spirits' areas of expertise, their N, symbols, colors, planet or planets, and offerings associated with the spirit. Any warnings to do with the spirit, and my small description of a personal encounter with that spirit. Now, the full list of spirits included in the book is Abbadon, Abigor, Agaliarept, Agares, Aim, Alloces, there we go, that's the name, Amdusias, Amon, Andras, Andrealphus, Andromalius, Asafoetida, Asmoday, Astaroth, Astarte, Azazel, Bael, Balam, Barbatos, Bathin, Beelzebuth, Beleth, Belial, Belphegor, Berith, Bifrons, Botis, Buer, Bune, Camio, Simerges, Crocel, Dandelion, Decarabria, Delepitore, Euronymous, Focalor, Forus, Fornius, Furcus, Furfur, Gap, Glasya-Labolas, Gregory, Gusion, Hagenti, Halphus, Horus, Ipos, Lerage, Leviathan, Lilith, Lucifuge, Rophokyle, Lucifer, Luthien, Malthus, Mammon, Marax, Marbus, Marcosius, Mephisto, Murmur, Nabirius, Oriax, Orobus, Ose, Paimon, Phoenix, Person, Rashun, Raum, Ronove, Rosier, Sabnok, Salos, Samigina, Satan, Satanachia, Seer, Shax, Citri, Sonelian, Stolas, Svengali, Tarun, Tezrian, Ansere, Uval, Valifor, Vapula, Vasago, Vapar, Verier, Verine, Wine, Volak, Zagan, and Zepar. I am so sorry about how much I butcher the pronunciations. I can search up a word very easily. Pronouncing it is a lot of a different story for me, and I should be probably wearing my glasses, but I find that I look prettier and more expressive without them. So I am reading text on my screen, and boy oh boy, can I just not pronounce names. So if I like super butchered it, I apologize. That was not my intention. Ooh, I managed to get my mouse to go missing. That's not good. Anyway, let us read like an example section of what you can expect to find, right? So, this is Satan, sigil sourced from Complete Book of Demonolatry by S. Connolly. When I could, I told you exact source, what I used. I asked S. Connolly about using the ends for the spirits and about using their sigils. I got a okay in the mail. So when I was like using things that are actually like copyrighted to people, I was trying to get their permission to use them. So this wasn't just a willy-nilly sort of decision. Combined history of the spirit. Satan is a Hebrew word meaning the adversary. Most instances of Satan appearing in the Bible mentioned the function, not really a name, as it is unclear who this opposer would be or if they were all separate entities. If one was to try and to communicate with Satan from the Bible, they would need to select a very specific passage and none other in order to specify who they're trying to contact. Nonetheless, the word became associated with an entity of sorts and made it into many publications. The sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage places Satan as one of four princes and superior spirits, the others being Lucifer, Leviathan, and Belial, and describes him as the adversary. He is one of three supreme devils named in the Book of Abbadon, the other two being Beelzebuth and Lucifer. Lucifer or Lucifer, wow, bro, why? How do you pronounce Lucifer? There we go. Like that. The full entry on him in the Book of Abbadon is as follows. The third devil or spirit is Satan, the which was of the order of throne of the cherubim, who that likewise after 1,200 years intendeth to come again and possess his former place, which is not to be believed. He is wont to ask of Master Conjurer that he should with Solomon pray the Creator, that he may come to his throne again. But he that is master shall say that he fell not of his own will, and for that cause he abideth in the air, and is not cast into hell. But let the master take good heed that he do not obey him in his request, and when the master will depart with him, let him say, I here beseech my God that if I be given to thee by him, and that from above, that thou mayest be again restored to thy former place or throne, so be it. Note that Satan abideth in an obscure air, and that the four princes or the four kings, under which king's power is given to hurt the land, the seas, the trees, and thy be of the Orient. These four kings are Oriens, Paimon, Amaimon, and Egan. Satan knoweth the virtue of these kings, and it was he that tempered our fathers in the descent or wilderness, making them disobedient to God's will. He hath power to kill, to destroy, to make blind, and to do many mischiefs. God defend us. Amen. Areas of expertise, according to Book of Oberon, mischief and harm, according to Complete Book of Demonolatry, all, according to Theodore Rose's Lucifer and the Hidden Demons, Satan helps with intensifying psychic and magical abilities. And so this is like a repeated phrase that helps you to connect with the spirit in meditation. Tassa remelaris Satan av Satanis. Titles: Prince, Chief Devil, King. Some of these titles are meant to be directly translated to the ruling planets of the spirit, so Prince and King would be one of those titles. Chief Devil is just a, don't know, nice way of calling somebody, or not a nice way of calling somebody, it depends what you mean. Associated symbols. Technically none, as the spirit was never described with specific items or animals, practically anything that you associate with an adversary. Associated colors. In some traditions, Satan is seen as the all, the same as in Abrahamic traditions, God is all. In those traditions, colors would also be all. As that's not very helpful, I'll go with Satan and sons slash sons associations here of electric blue, rich golds, blood red, death cold black. Interesting descriptions, but really they just mean blue, gold, red, black. And another thing in the intro you're gonna see, what I'm quoting from, I'm not endorsing those specific locations. Some demonology spaces are gonna have very edgy people that don't do very nice things, but that doesn't mean that their contributions to research of spirits is any less valuable. Therefore, take this as not an endorsement, but as a compilation of information. Associated offerings. The same site associates Satan with titanium and those herbs, incense, scents. Frankincense, oud, myrrh, copal, patchouli, sandalwood. As the spirit is very not specific, everyone's Satan, if they do get in contact with one, will differ, and therefore the offerings will differ too. This is a safe list to get started with, but otherwise let the spirit guide you and use common sense in taking that guidance too. Warnings. The area of expertise here differs greatly book to book and goes from being very negative to being very wide. It is best to take a singular book and hold a singular idea of a singular entity to get closer to the version of Satan, as otherwise you are petitioning many different spirits that could all wear this title. Personal notes. What I met felt like the typical archetype of Satan. He came with the feeling of dread, heaviness, and warmth in the air. It felt like there was an arrow piercing me from the head to my brain. When I mentioned this to the spirit, they let up, but unlike with other spirits where their energy felt softer, and sometimes I would need to ask them to turn up their aura or come closer, with this one it was overwhelming. I asked Satan who should work with him and was told that anyone that needs to be unshackled and to destroy the feeling of can't do and guilt. He is the enabler. He will enable you on whatever journey that you decide to go on and does not care about your destination. Your joy, freedom, and pain are all the same to this entity, and he enjoys all of it. I asked who shouldn't, and this list included gentle people, ones that need a safer, longer journey. Even if you're walking with demons, you would be better suited calling upon Lucifer than you would on Satan, as you may accidentally start a slippery slide that will spiral your life out of control. Satan is a very serious and intense force. Once again, if you need somebody to just go, yes, girl, and enable you in anything that you ever want to do, it can be a very freeing experience. You can be like, I am now openly a lesbian, and woo, I am living my true self. But at the same time, if you need enabling for criminal acts, like, I don't know, robbing a place or worse, you'll get that enablement, and where that leads you, or if you want to try some drugs, you're gonna get that enablement, and where it leads you, the spirit does not give a shite. So it will probably lead to jail, it will probably lead to addiction, it will probably lead to misery. You are very much here in charge of yourself, and you should remember that. I did briefly ask Satan about material success and was told that he is associated with the material success, and that is not necessarily full in expression of the true you, but instead embodies a whatever it takes attitude. This may mean being a musician that produces music that's popular but not from your heart, or being entirely willing to prostitute yourself while being entirely guilt free about the lifestyle that you've chosen. Not that any of these directions are bad, but merely that it is a job to do for money, and it may be higher money than normal jobs, but it's still not living in a way that working does not feel like working to you. So, like, if you ask for another spirit that's associated with music or art, like Paimon or any other, you will get an inspiration that is very much you. It will be about finding you and yourself in this picture and finding what you are and you are yourself in this picture is not necessarily very profitable. Like, Lucifer has led me to writing glorious books, to enjoying walks outside, to realizing that I do actually love painting and that I just have childhood trauma of being shamed out of it, to uncovering a lot of memories about myself and to trying to find that freedom of living like me. But at the same time, it's not very compatible with money. These kind of pursuits, they express me as I am. They don't earn me much. So this was very much enjoyable to write. But if I spent $150 on the cover and let's just say about a similar amount on research materials, just buying books, because I wasn't even tracking what I was spending, I would need to at least sell 100 copies to get that back. I don't expect to sell 100 copies to get that back. It all came from a desire to do, and it so consumed me that I was just doing this for like 5 months straight, and sometimes doing it in like very big intensity. So, like for a month, this would be all that I would do in my free time, research information, have experiences with spirits, and it's all cool and fun, but it's not really easy to monetize. So, like, if I wanted to be a writer and I wanted to be a writer specifically for money, like I want, I really need money, and I went to Satan for that, he would be like, you know what sells pretty well? Smut. Why don't you write smut set in this historical era about these characters? And it would probably be a lot harder to write because it's not what I would enjoy, but I could write sentences like her boobs boobed bubbly, and people would probably eat it up, and it would be a lot easier to, for one thing, get a publisher, not be publishing myself, for another thing, actually get like material success out of it. But that is precisely the difference. Planetary association. Jupiter and the Sun. No expansion needed. If you need, at the very end, we're gonna do some scrolling and we're gonna hope that nothing breaks down when scrolling, because sometimes it does. This book is 350 pages long. Really, if you buy the paper version, you can probably kill somebody and use it as like a legal weapon, so yeah. If we dare, we go. I also included planetary correspondences. I knew absolutely nothing about this, so these associations come from the Complete Magician's Table Expanded 5th edition by Stephen Skinner, 2006. The book was incredibly hard to find, and in fact, I don't have it. I had to borrow it off my friend. That was all like, okay, I'm gonna help you, mate. What do you need? And I was like, associations. I need associations with planets. I need plants, perfumes, and incenses, rocks, metals, crystals, that sort of thing. And they were like, gotcha, babe. And they sent me the correct pages for these things. So that is how this section has been written, but it's just a preliminary guide of if you want to make offerings to a spirit based on their planetary association rather than based on what other people have associated with the spirit, you can go to this section and you can find what plants, perfumes, and incenses, or rocks, metals, and crystals are associated with it. Use common sense, because sometimes poisonous materials like mercury will be mentioned, and you don't wanna handle that. So just pick something that's accessible to you and that you're not gonna poison yourself with, because this is spirituality. We're not trying to commit group suicide. I hope that I made that clear. If you don't know how to use this book at all, like right at the very end, there's ideas on how to use this information. This was supposed to be just a compilation of things, but I'm completely aware that somebody completely new might just like come in and buy a book and be like, okay, and now what do I do with it? So that's precisely what that is. Thank you for watching this video. If you're still here, if you have watched it to the end, expect a whole bunch of shorts and expect them to be a tiny bit weird, because in some of them I suffered from camera anxiety. In a different side to them, like sometimes I would be like very comfortable on camera and I was able to speak. But like you saw the entry on Satan, my personal experience, it just becomes like this chunk of text. And yelling it out in a minute becomes practically impossible. So I either have to like divide and like take a chunk out, or I have to completely remove any pauses in between words. So some of it will just feel like it's snap cut and I am a raccoon on cocaine. Very apologize if that's kind of grating to listen to. While others will lack bits that would be findable in the book. If you want to just read this video will link to the PDF down below. You can just take it and you can read it for free. If you want to help fund me to at least get what I invested in it back, then you can go to Amazon and you can buy either the Kindle version or the printed version. And trust me, the paperback will definitely be a brick. You can definitely throw it at people if you need some self-defense classes. I hope I provided you with a sufficient giant paper weapon. But I set the pricing so that I get $4 out of that price. So just remember that all the other overhead, it's just printing, or it is Amazon's pricing. So like you look at the listing and the book paperback, I think is something like $19, and that is the cheapest that I could make with 350 pages and still get $4 from moi. So yeah, I understand that some people are a lot nicer and go, okay, I'll get myself 30 cents because you can do that, and the rest is just printing and Amazon fees. But I want something a bit more substantial. I'm never gonna get my investment back on 30 cents, so it's priced so that I get $4. And Kindle version may be a bit harder to read than just the PDF. That's once again available for free, because Kindle version is a bitch to format. Sorry, Amazon. You can't really move pictures about. And the titles, when the name of the spirit was too long, for some reason Amazon was like, so it's just in a long list on like one side of the page on the right side. And then you will see in one entry the sigil's like here, here, here. But like I did my best with what I could. So where it's just text blocks, the formatting really holds up. But when you look at the titles and when you look at where the sigil will end up on the page, it's not as pretty. Like the PDF is a lot prettier. I wish I could make the Kindle version prettier, but I just spent like good 8 hours fighting it yesterday, so I think I did my best. So thank you for watching, and that's it. You're just gonna get a lot more content shorts on demons. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble about Satan. And I don't have a mouse on my screen right now. I don't know what I did, but that's probably not very good. And I am slightly drunk, and I'm definitely not in any place shape or form to read, so hopefully I read everything correctly. Thank you for watching and see you in my other videos. Toodaloo.